Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Alright Seipher, we're ready.
In the Wonderland court system, the defendant must face two separate yet equally important groups. The 14-year-old islander with a giant key investigating the crime, and the spoiled woman-child calling for her head. This is their story. Dun-dun! Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Kingdom Hearts! In the last episode, we flew the gummy ship from the cozy scenery of Traverse Town to the madcap crazy land of Wonderland. After having our attention grabbed by the White Rabbit, we followed him to the castle of Wonderland's Queen of Hearts. There, we discovered Alice being railroaded in the Wonderland court system by the childish queen for the crimes of assault and attempted theft of the Queen's heart. Knowing the true culprits were the Heartless, we objected on Alice's behalf, and were soundly told to provide proof. Putting on our detective hats, we searched the surrounding areas for proof about the Heartless, meeting the double-talking Cheshire Cat in the process. We managed to collect 4 pieces of evidence, and in doing so, we not only have built a strong case for Alice's innocence, but earned the Blizzard spell from the tricky feline. This time, we will be presenting our case for Alice's innocence. Now, given the zaniness of Wonderland, I would recommend you grind a little to prepare for what is to come either here or back in Traverse Town. I would recommend being at least level 12 with Sora to make this a bit easier. I did a little grinding off screen, mainly to stockpile synthesis materials. In doing so, I gained 2 levels on Sora and Donald. I can't recall if I gained that 1 additional level on Goofy during my grinding, or if that was in a previous episode, but it doesn't really matter. From doing so, I have gotten I've gotten additional HP on Sora, additional AP on Sora, and additional AP and I think defense on Donald. From those AP gains, I equipped all of Sora and Donald's abilities for right now that I've got access to. Not sure how useful they'll be, but hey, better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, in my opinion. I also managed to stockpile quite a few synthesis materials, got pretty much all that I could ever need of Lucid Shards, Blaze Shards, and Spirit Shards. So that's nice. I also managed to pick up a few Protect Chains from soldiers, but what's more important, I managed to actually get a pretty rare drop from the Red Nocturnes, the Fire Ring. I got 3 of these. And you'll definitely want to get some of these because they're basically the improved version of the Fire Ring that we saw back in Sid's accessory shop back in Traverse Town. They increase defense by 2 and give a 20% resistance to fire-based attacks. Gonna be pretty helpful for what we have coming up. Well, not necessarily right away, but eventually it'll be of some help. I would also like to clarify something from last episode. Apparently you only need to find the claw marks evidence for the Cheshire Cat to give you Blizzard. However, if you didn't manage to find the claw marks on your own, if you were, say, playing along but not actually watching the video, you do not have to worry about getting Blizzard from that. You will eventually get it, but if you want it early, find the claw marks. I would also like to point out that I didn't talk about fire when we first got it, and that is my bad, so let's quickly go over it now. Fire is a very basic spell. Well, compared to Blizzard, which is more of a shotgun, this is a single target attack, but it does have homing properties. For instance, if we target that chest, it'll go for that chest. It also takes up a very minuscule amount of MP. It only takes 1 orange charge, so it's pretty useful for the early game when you don't have a lot of magic like me. It can be even more helpful if you chose the Dream Rod and have a lot of magic. Well, a lot more magic at this point in the game. I would also suggest being at least saving before you move forward with this, as there will not be a chance to do so mid-trial, so let's Well, I've already taken care of that, so let's get this trial underway. Are you ready to present evidence before the Queen? Yes. Very well. Counsel, step up to the podium. Now show me what you found. Well, that's certainly a lot of evidence, but I'm still not impressed. Cards, bring forth my evidence. Checking all 5 would only be a waste of time. Alright then, choose the one you wish to present. I'll decide who's guilty based on that evidence. What? After all the trouble of collecting it? You dare object? Then you will lose your head. Now choose. 1 box. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. When your authoritarian leader is a woman child with the brain of a pea and the patience of a gnat, that was bound to be the case. Sadly, you can see that in some leaders these days, and not for good reason. In any case, the Wonderland court system is very much corrupt. The Queen has provided an evidence box to go along with our own. Totaling to 5, we must pick 1. Now, obviously, this gives you an 80% chance if you found all 4 evidence boxes, going down to 20% if you only found 1 box. Obviously, the more evidence you collect, the better your odds of naming the Heartless as the culprits. However, if you select the Queen's evidence, Donald, Goofy, or both of them will be jailed by the Queen, and basically railroaded by the court system. I am hoping that my efforts to collect all 4 pieces of evidence will get me through. I'm just going to go with the first box in the middle, and hope that we get something good out of this. So, let's open it up. Are you certain? No second chances. I'm sure. Now we shall see who the real culprit is. Oh, that is so bad. Well, Donald and Goofy are officially jailed. What? So you're the culprits? Wait, this can't be right. You're all guilty. Seize them. Sora, do something. We have no choice. Let's take them. Well, this is certainly going to make this coming fight a lot more difficult. The cards in tower. Okay, we freed Goofy. So, because I chose the wrong box, both Donald and Goofy were locked up. We can break their cages. Would have been a lot easier. The main thing about this boss fight, the cards in tower, is that you want to take out the cards as fast as possible, but not too many, and don't focus on them for too long, because the main objective is to take out the tower. We can target the Queen, and we can knock her out to get the cards off of us for at least a little bit. The cards will eventually pop back up, so that's why you don't want to focus on them. Despite what it looks like, the tower doesn't actually show any HP. I'm not entirely sure why. It doesn't seem like it has all that much HP, but destroying the cranks will eventually get you to lower the cage all the way down. We can stay back and just pepper it with fire from afar if the cards are getting too much up in our business, but all in all, it's not all that hard of a boss fight if you're prepared, though if you're under-leveled, it can definitely be a bit of a challenge, especially if you end up listing Donald and Goofy as the culprits, since it'll just be you against a bunch of card soldiers. Anyway, let's take out this card soldier. and start whacking away at the tower. She must have gotten kidnapped while we were fighting. You fools! Find the one who's behind this. I don't care how. Well, with that, all of Wonderland is now going to be searching for Alice, who's gone missing. All of our efforts. Well, that didn't go how I would have preferred, but we have to move on, I guess. With Alice gone, let's actually quickly return to the Bazaar Room, because while we do have some more story progress to make by going to the Lotus Forest, there is some things that we can do now that... Well, there is something we can do now that the trial is done. So let's just make our way up to the table. Oh, a new enemy has appeared, the large body. These tanks are pretty annoying. They are pretty much immune to attacks from the front. You'll want to dodge roll behind them and hit them from behind. They're pretty much the damage sponges and tanks of the early game of Kingdom Hearts. You can guard against their belly charge that they do, but generally it's better to get behind them and just hit them from behind. You can use magic on them from the front, but I always say just get behind them to really damage them. Let's drink this. Now that we're big again, let's go back to the rabbit hole, because we actually haven't been back here since we came in. There is a save point now, but we have a lot of fighting to do before we can actually make use of it. We're gonna have pretty much a party with all these Heartless. Get a lot of experience, which, considering how things have been going, definitely kind of need. One thing I didn't say about the large bodies is that they do drop spirit shards like the soldiers. And they actually have a different color in the Final Mix version, which I honestly don't really like compared to this original red body. Okay, come on. From doing that, our save spot here is back, and we have a chest that we can open. Technically, you could do this as soon as you met the Queen of Hearts and started searching for evidence, but I decided to just save it for after the trial. So, let's actually... Oh, I did not mean to do that. Let's return to the Lotus Forest. I'll cut to when we get there. Have you seen Alice? Alice, no. Shadows, yes. Where did they go? This way? That way? Does it matter? Left, right, up, down. All mixed up, thanks to the shadows. Step deeper into the forest to the deserted garden. You might find shadows in the upside-down room. Well, that certainly isn't helpful. And this is equally unhelpful. Thankfully, easy enough to deal with, I suppose. Okay, come on, get out of our way, Shadows. We have things to do, and we need to be out of battle to be able to do them. Okay, so, if we recall, this flower will give us the ability to grow bigger by giving them a potion, so let's give it a potion.
This should help.
And with the boulder that the Cheshire Cat moved, we'll push it into this lake, causing the lily pads to grow. Next, we want to hit the tree, take the acorn, and then hit the tree again before eating it. And we're actually going to go back to the lily pads we raised, at least. At least after we deal with these guys.
See ya.
Easy enough to deal with. Not gonna really care about the money. Let's jump up these lily pads. And in here, we find more Heartless. I mean, I can't be too mad, it's getting us a bunch of synthesis material. But I want to get this Trinity mark. Get a camping set, which again can be helpful wherever in need of it. If we examine this flower, we can give it a high potion. This will get us a mega potion in return. And I had my notes here saying that was yellow, but it's red. Guess that was a mistake on my part. Anyway, let's go in this nearby door. Getting us to the Queen's Castle again, and open this chest. Getting us an Arrow G, which is just another gummy block for the gummy ship. Anyway, let's go back to the forest now that we've got that. And we're gonna go into the back way. Okay, more. Let's just take these guys out as fast as we can. They're getting a little too ambush happy. Gonna go up these mushrooms and let's see, where do we go next? We're gonna need to reach the acorn branch. And from there, to the and head through the door in the leaf canopy. So up here, oh, it's my bad. Getting us back to the bazaar room. Though a much different bazaar room, we are now on this side. Come on, let us take out these guys. That was good, and large bodies do drop high potions, which can be pretty useful. We want to... Well, first, let's actually hit that to drop that teddy bear. Then let's light this lamp, causing a chest to appear. Getting us a defense up. That would be pretty helpful for Donald if he's having trouble staying alive. Otherwise, I recommend using defense ups, strength ups, and AP ups on Sora, since he's the one you're controlling. Now then, we light this other lamp, and we can examine the picture to go back into the Lotus Forest. And in here, if we examine, give it a potion, we've got plenty of these, so let's do it. Gets us a bunch of MP and a high potion, and if we examine this, it wants an elixir. Let me just actually take one out. I normally wouldn't recommend this, since we could use an elixir, but we've got 3 of these, and I don't think we'll be needing them for a while, so let's just use the elixir on this flower. Gets us a bunch of money and a mithril shard, which, all in all, kind of good. We will want to keep note of this room for later on when we have the access to the White Trinity. So with that, let's go back into the Bazaar room. And on the side of the wall, we can see, well, a hole that will lead us back to the Lotus Forest, but apparently we can't exit while we're in combat. Or not. Okay, I was wrong. And now that we've done that, let's see, we're gonna head to the alcove with the mushrooms and the door above the entrance to the Bazaar room. Yeah, that was easy. Wait, now that we're here, we're going to go to the faucet and hit it. Or turn it, rather. And then we're going to actually jump into the pot that summoned, because it takes us to the Queen's Castle. And near another chest. This returns Dalmatians 58, 59, and 60. Okay, now let's go into the Bazaar room again. Thank you, Donald, for that, getting us a good deal of experience. And gotta take care of these guys, otherwise we won't be able to drink the potions, so... Come on. Okay, easy enough. Though, I imagine there's an ambush. Yep. And Goofy got max MP. From leveling up to level 28, so good. Let's drink this. So now that we're big, and because we moved that teddy bear while we were on the sideways wall, we can move it to this chair, which will pop out the clock, and we can move the clock to open up a new doorway. So, time to drink the shrinking potion again. And wrong way. Let's just make our way to the Tea Party Garden. Unfortunately, the Mad Hatter and March Hare are not here, but we can easily deal with that. Let's open this chest before we hop down. I think it's an Arrow Gudgy, basically just a better wing for the gummy ship. And we have a new thing to, well, look about. If we read the sign, a very merry on birthday. Sit down to get your present. Okay, basically just doing that. As we can see, there are 7 chairs here, and we would want to face them from this direction. The chair at the head and the chair in the middle to the left of the head are the ones that we do not want to do right now. If we sit in any other chair, we get a bunch of items, money, and in that case an elixir, so not much of a waste on that flower now that we actually have one to make up for it. Let's go with this chair next. More money and a potion. Let's go with this one. An ether, which is pretty good, and a bunch of magic. Let's sit in this one, just to make sure that I didn't get the wrong notes. HP and another potion. So, and sit here. Another potion and some MP. Okay. Well, we could sit in these in the head chair or in the middle on the left when facing the head chair, but I do not want to do that because that'll get us into some fights. From this moment on, a new enemy will appear, white mushrooms. These are special heartless. I will go into them when we actually see them. In any case, we want to actually go in this door over here to the bazaar room. They're hiding somewhere, and the Morat's outgrabe. Okay, that's weird. Want to find the shadows? Try turning on the light. Well, we are on the ceiling, so the best way to turn on the light would be to get past all these heartless and touch those lamps like we did on the wall the other earlier. That was a little annoying, but easily deal with that. Get up on top of this lamp. It's too dim. Make it brighter. What next? One more lamp that you need to light. I mean, that should have been pretty obvious, Sora. All the lights are on. You'll see the shadows soon. They'll arise in this room, but somewhere else. The shadows might go after the doorknob, too. Well, we certainly can't let another innocent, even if he was kind of unhelpful. Well, not unhelpful, but not exactly the most helpful person. Let's attack, or rather release this latch, giving us a shortcut to the Queen's Castle. And there should be another chest here. Yep, getting us Dalmatian puppies 13, 14, and 15 back home. 9 down, 90 to go. Okay. With that, I would say we've searched every nook and cranny of Wonderland and have a goal of meeting the Cheshire Cat back in the Bazaar Room, now that it's right side up again. I'd say now is a very good time to take a rest. Next time, we'll head back to the Bazaar Room and see if the Cheshire Cat will finally give us a straight answer on what happened to Alice. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.